Do you think holding your 0-day trades to expiration captures the most profit? Our 2-year-long backtest says otherwise. We're breaking down exactly why taking 10 to 20% profit might be the only way to avoid tail risk in these fast-moving markets.
So this is the best of, again, this is our part 2 of our 0-day best of series. So we're talking through some of the 0-day content that we've put on this year. So turning 0-day profit targets, or tuning 0DT profit targets, this one from June 12th of 2025. I thought I was correcting a mistake. I was actually just not reading right.
I do it all the time.
Oh, God. It's giving me the womp womp. Next slide here. So in a fast-moving, high-risk 0DT trades, fine-tuning our approach can meaningfully impact performance. This study examines how different aggressive profit targets affect the outcomes. The study here is a 0-day trade, obviously. We did this at 9 a.m., which is 30 minutes after the open, plus or minus 5 minutes. Each day, the strategy is 20-point wide iron condors using 40 and 20 delta strikes. $10 wide iron flies, so very tight iron flies, and then iron condors with 40 and 20 delta shorts. Winners close very aggressively, 10, 20, and 25% of the max profit. Losers, we let those run through the end of the day. So we'll take a look at the stats that we've got here. So the iron fly, you see, obviously, a lot of these are centered around a 50-50 probability with more aggressive management, right? So when you're taking the quick profits, which is what we've been doing with our SPX trades, we didn't end up doing one today. I kind of forgot about it. It was a little bit of a fast market today.
I kind of forgot about it too. But you've been scalping nice with your Nasdaq and your S&Ps too.
Yes. So, but just overall, the quick management has been good for us, and obviously through all these, your mean P&L is pretty good. Besides the no management aspect, which just opens you up to a lot of tail risk. We've seen this time and time again with all these studies. No management on a two-sided trade with hours to go until expiration, you're going to have these big deviations of returns. Here with an iron fly, there's only so much you can lose. And so your CVAR is basically the same across the board, but you end up, the reason the no management is so low win rate and P&L, but has the same CVAR, is because you're basically realizing the max loss on all of those because you have no management there. And so, that's really the key here, is that by managing early, you're reducing your variance of and your deviation of P&L and tightening that up, and so you end up having more consistent positions overall.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the targets here? What is your go-to?
I mean, we've been doing 10, 15, 20%. Is kind of our wheelhouse. It's right in this range, 10 to 20%. But it's not our core trade. This isn't. Right. It's kind of an engagement.
Right. Trade. And when it does work for you, we've been able to do it in 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And when it doesn't work, it usually takes about 2 hours or so to get back into that range, at least from our experience of us doing it. And we've been doing it sparingly. Again, volatility is extremely low. The optimal time is when volatility is high.
Yes.
Next question, please. Next slide, please.
So looking here at 40 delta iron condors, we're doing $20 wings. Again, we're looking at the win rates, the mean P&Ls. You can see, again, as you get into no management or more aggressive management, if you're looking at 75% or 80% or 90%, they probably all fit in that no management bucket. You have a lot of max losses, and so your mean P&L is going to skew against you, and that's just the nature of the beast here. It's an interesting time to be talking about these because the Captain Condor situation, but this is what happens. This is why you have to manage trades.
Correct. This is why you have to manage trades. You can't just set it and forget it. It looks good on paper, and this is why. And you went back to Captain Condor again, which I can't stand that name, but that's what everybody knows him as. The martingale of 2, 4, becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32, and so on, so on. It goes against everything we talk about with size. You cannot increase your size to that magnitude, especially in such a short period of time, especially on such a big product.
Yeah, it's just,
it's silly.
It's silly. Yes, exactly.
It sounds silly. Like, how many times would you go to a roulette table and, bet black? You think, it's going to come out red eventually. Yeah, it will, but you're going to run out of cash before it happens, or you could run out of cash before it happens.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the green one.
Yeah. Now there's like triple zeros.
Are there really?
And I've seen some casinos do triple zeros now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been out of touch.
Yeah, you got the casino needs a little bit more edge.
Of course.
Couple takeaways here. So over the last 2 years, selling 0-day XPX premium has been highly profitable, particularly for traders who secure profits quickly. There's obviously, you watch these trades and you're like, oh, I should have held that. I would have made 100%, or
Sure.
I would have made 75%. There's always a gimme and a gotcha. And you see it in all of our slides of like no management. You're going to have wider distributions. You're going to hit that tail more frequently. And you're going to have those events where, multiple tails occur in a row. And that is why you need to manage trades. It's not about leaving profits on the table. It's about minimizing the tail losses. That's the key to all these management segments.
Yep.
No single profit target emerged as universally best. There's a gimme and a gotcha. A lower profit target, like a 10%, is going to be a tighter deviation of P&L. When you get to the no management, that's kind of the extreme end of the curve. 10, 20, 30%, they're all kind of justifiable. And you can do it on a day-to-day basis if you want to, but the key here is that doing something is optimal. A 10% target produces the highest win rates and the strongest performance. It was 90% of the traders it trades into wins. For iron flies, accepting a lower win rate to capture more credit led to better overall results. And that's just because the nominal amount you can lose is so much lower with those iron flies. And so, if you're doing out of the money stuff, you should be a little bit more aggressive with your management. And if you're doing at the money stuff, you just don't have, it's an all or nothing type trade.
Yes, it is an all or nothing type trade. You're 100% correct. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Yeah. That was a good one. So the next one we have is the impatient bulls selling 0DT put spreads. This was in October.
My wife says I'm impatient. Are you impatient?
No, I'm pretty patient.
Are you?
Yeah, I think I got good patience. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
still a bull.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not that age yet.
All right. Fair enough.
As the markets continue to rally, traders may wonder what happens when we take a directional stance. This section analyzes how different approaches to selling daily 0DT SPX put spreads have performed. So the study is we sold one put spread daily using the at-the-money short strikes, compared multiple long strike widths. Every time we were tested, entry times tested, where the market opened within 5 minutes and 9 a.m. So we did this at 2 times. Mm-hmm. And trades were closed at either 10 or 25% of the max profit. So these are going to be much meatier spreads because you're selling right at the money. It's the last 2 years, so it's been significantly skewed bullish. And so this data, you have to keep that in mind here.
Very good.
So opening at the open, closing at 25% of the max profit. You can see your win rates across the board very, very high, higher than you would expect. You'd expect these to be like 60 or 70% because you're selling an at the money spread. So you're going to be a little bit better than 50%, but you're not going to be 80% on these. And, because the win rate is high, it's telling you that the market has generally gone up. You do increase that win rate by managing in some fashion, so that's going to increase it as well. But again, for a lot of the last 2 years, it's been pretty much up, and so you see that reflected here.
You definitely see affected here. I mean, but you can't tell what the market. You can't tell the market what it's done, right? I mean, you can only do what's here and now.
Of course,
you can only look at what's here now.
Of course. So here we're looking at 9 a.m. So the 9 a.m. 25% profits, basically the same thing that we've looked at before. There's really no meaning. Everybody asks for what's the perfect time to put the trade on.
And I mean, isn't that what everybody's looking for? And there is no perfect time, right? I mean, there could be a bad time. And we've found that after 12 o'clock seems to be and it's noon central, seems to be not as advantageous time as putting it on earlier.
Yes. But there's no perfect entry. There's no perfect delta. There's no perfect, there's no this is the one trade. Yes. They're all priced for whatever the risk is on those trades. And you hyper focusing on the best entry is less important than understanding the management and understanding the risk. That's where you should be focusing on. It's less about the perfect spot. And so you can see across the board here, the numbers are basically the same, whether you entered at 9 a.m., which is 30 minutes after the open, or right at the open. It's basically the same numbers here.
Very good.
So during the study period, SPX rose from 3,800 to 6,600. So you had obviously an upside move. And this kind of goes with, any small data set you have to, and any back test in general, you have to take it with a grain of salt because, the market did what it did. It's everything that you're studying is, in hindsight, and it's not necessarily to continue the same way or same magnitude into the future. So, that's good context, but we have to just, kind of pump the brakes. I think that's kind of what we're saying here. Higher profit targets captured more total P&L, but increased the exposure to larger drawdowns. This is across the board. If you are targeting more profits, you are going to have more risk. That is just the nature of anything. More risk, more reward. It's a very, very easy thing to understand. And that plays out here. This study being, on the last 2 years skews the market skewed bullish. And so, this looks like the free money glitch. Of course, we know that there's risk to that. The main takeaway here, there was no meaningful difference between entering trades at the market open versus, 9 a.m. It's one and the same.